Come take a look through the orange lens, my friends. How you doing, folks? Use the force, positive mental attitude. This is about balance, right? It's not fake it till we make it. It's grow until we fly. So, I need to talk about, like, freedom of speech. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, freedom of speech. Why free speech is suppressed? Why is that happening? Because it's happening, right? So, obviously, I just want to encourage people to look up, look around and go, what's going on here? What's going on there? Right? Quite a fucking lot. So, in my description box on YouTube, there's a ton of links, right? And I've just added WikiLeaks to the bottom of it. I have not read a ticket of it yet. So, you know, but I've been watching a ton of videos, interviews with Julian Assange, and just sort of binging a little bit. Because he's so informed, his worldview, his perspective is so wide. And I mean, you imagine the things that he's read, you know, so the way he sees the world must be very interesting. Probably a little bit scary in some senses, but who cares about that, right? It's not about being scared of stuff. There's plenty of shit we can be scared of, you know. That can't stop us, you know. We can't let fear stop us. We can't let fear guide us, you know. Look what's happening with COVID, you know, because people don't take to just questioning the powers and going and finding information. We've all been pushed direct, you know, a lot of people, not we all, thankfully, but a lot of people. And you know, it's just not fair, you know. But thankfully, you know, as soon as the sun comes out, right, I'm in the UK. It's like, what, end of March, beginning of February. It's the last day of March, isn't it? So it'll be the 1st of February tomorrow. Don't fall for anything tomorrow, folks. But it's the last day, and like yesterday was stunning, like clear skies, not a line spreading out in it, you know, it was blues, pretty much. The air quality's not been great, but and people out to the beach, what mask, you know, and it's like, yeah, you start realising how many people are just like happy to stay in, aren't really thinking about the consequences of what this lot are trying to do, you know, because the media trains you not to listen to conspiracy theorists, all wacky orange lenses. Shit, man. I realise how little I know about conspiracy theories when I get around people that are knees deep in it. I don't care too much. Some things I find interesting, right? Sure. But like, I've never really cared about fucking loads of information and blah blah blah. Like I like knowing life. I like life experience. I love learning about like myself and about the world. But like gaining information's always been a different thing. But you know, I've gained a bit of a liking for it recently, you know, in the last few years. But nonetheless, I think slightly losing my thread there. You know, it's good to ask questions. So let's just jump back to the topic of freedom of speech, WikiLeaks and stuff. You know, and if you're down in the description area, you know, I know that it's somewhere around there, isn't it? There's a little like button down there. You can just go ahead and tap it. You know, you can leave us a comment. You can subscribe if you want. Help me keep the numbers over 1,000, so I'll be able to do my live feeds, which I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing these live on Sundays. I decided. I did a live this Sunday. I just thought, you know, live interaction's cool. It'd be good to, you know, get anyone that wants to come and say stuff in the comments. I'll always have something to say, possibly, depending on what it is you say. I might totally ignore you if you're being a bit of a dickhead, do you know what I mean? So if you come across all amicable and shit, even if you're disagreeing with me, I'll quite happily entertain it. You know, you start getting personal, I'm just going to ignore you. But so, it's worth thinking about it's way more than that. It's worth looking at people like Julian Assange, people like, and there's so many more. I've just been watching this interview and they've mentioned a couple of other names. Bradley Manning, right? Like, he's in some fucking, I don't know where they said it was, whether it was Israel, Iraq, or Iran, somewhere like in the east, like in some prison cell, like being held because he released, you know, confidential military or government papers that show what criminals they are. They're not protecting the public, they're protecting themselves. That's what the royals have always done in the UK, right? We have these documents that get locked up for 30, 50, 100 years, depending on how important it is to protect the people from that information. And most of the time when these things get reopened, it had nothing to do with protecting the public. It's like, you know, one of the princes is being naughty and they're hiding it, or, you know, Queenies happen to drop a couple of bombs on a few innocent 1,000 million people, and well, you know, that sort of shit. I mean, that's not really it, that sort of shit. It's more like, you know, it's not bombs dropping. They do that shit. They justify it first, right? And let's face it, the Queen and that haven't been doing that since like the late 60s was their last conquest. 67 was it? I don't know. Someone can check that. I think that was the last island they liberated, right? The last natives that they liberated. Nah, I just don't like it. I don't like it. One thing I realised. Slightly, but the same sort of, you know, the more you start to know, the more you realise you don't know, right? And I enjoy it when that happens to me. I'm having a massive moment of it now. The last few days it's just been a, wow, fuck, I don't know shit. Cool. Because I don't care about knowing stuff. What I care about is feeling right. Like, you need to know a little bit, sure, and I know plenty, right? But it's about feeling. You can know shit, and if that doesn't connect with your feelings, what's the fucking point in knowing it? Because at the end of the day, that's just more bullshit to suppress. We've got to liberate our feelings, right? Be open to learning things that are going to hurt, right? There's some things, hold my hands up, I don't want to watch. I'm just probably not going to watch any harming animals, anything like that. It's offensive to me. People hurting people, people hurting animals, animals hurting animals. I can't deal with that shit. I'm not into it. Pisses me off, upsets me, gets me seriously angry. But you know, what can you do when you give a fuck and you've got an anger problem? It's so funny. It's typical to the paradox of my life. And I'm assuming everybody's lives. I'm assuming, like, and I say assuming, you know, you study humans in the sense of just, you know, enjoying, you know, sitting in a cafe, not like nefarious, I'm studying everything you're saying. I know, like, if any, just in case any of my friends are watching this, I ain't studying yet. I ain't studying, you ain't fucking, oh, what they do. There's some things I do naturally and I can't help that, get over it. But as a general, I'm not picking apart what you're saying, doing, because that's how you miss things anyway. I learned that years back. If you're focusing on the mind and you miss a whole load of feeling, right? Which is what I was just saying before I started the fucking sidetrack, right? But seriously, the more we open up our feelings, dealing with how we feel about things and recognising it and acting upon it. Like, no, I don't feel okay when I see someone speak to that person like that and I have to listen to it every fucking day. I'm going to tell them, like, dude, what are you doing? Or like, I'm going to move, or I'm going to whatever. You're going to take an action, right? Because regardless of what the action is, sometimes moving away from a situation is the best action you can take. Sometimes not moving away from that situation and engaging it is the best action you can take. You don't know until you're doing it. There isn't like a golden rule for that. But you know, it's why I promote self-awareness. I'm not perfect. I'm not a master. I'm not a, you know, I'm someone who's worked on myself on and off for years. So I've got some levels of awareness within self-awareness. I've met plenty of people that have got way more than me. So I don't sit like fucking, so It is what it is. I just want to share because I care, right? So yeah, it's worth just looking at the pure fact that, like, right now, right, let me say this, right, today I was like, you know, quite often I'll do a video early, like I'll do it early in the morning. I'll go out for a walk, do the video, sometimes not, but I just don't know, my energy's been a bit like, just a bit lower the last couple of days, so I'm okay to, like, you know, pull myself back from anything anytime, because I've learned that's a good thing to do, even if it's just like an evening where you pull yourself in, or a day, you know, 24 to 48 hours just to pull back, like nothing, you know. That's it. I've done a little bit of work on tunes and that, but anyway. But so I've been watching stuff on Julian Assange, and all the stuff I'm watching is like old stuff, right? I mean, he hasn't got anything past 4 years ago, because he's been locked up in England. I still think he still hasn't been charged, but now they've got him locked up in solitary confinement. And I'm there sort of thinking like, oh. And I'm watching him speaking, I'm thinking that man is behind bars right now. Solitary confinement for doing things with a good motivation to spread truth for a want of a better future and a history we can learn from. And I was like, the fuck am I doing? Fuck am I doing? Yeah, right, I can take my times to rest, but like, we need to listen to each other, and we need to speak. Like, I'll listen as intently as I will speak. Right, so I'm happy to, like, have people, like, come talk to me. You want to get words out to people, I want to get words out to people. I want to get more people listening and talking. Come, if you've got stuff to say, I'll pretty much listen. I've got no problem in interviewing, but I'd rather have like a conversation. So come chat, right? I don't care if we like agree on all points or whatever. It's irrelevant. Like, if you want change, I want change, let's talk about it. Simple as that. Neither of us have to know fuck all, because many of us don't. And we all need conversations in front of us that are going, oh, all right, this is all right to talk about. We talk about this, is stuff, there's people talking about it. There's actually stuff going on. Like, there's people that meet, that do this, that do that. There's shit going on behind the scenes I know nothing about, you know, but it's there. I know that, you know, but that's that, you know. I'm about raising awareness. I'm about getting people to things, and anything else I can fucking do, I don't give a shit. I'll do anything, you know, within reason. Within reason. As long as I feel something's healthy, I'll do it. As long as I think something's healthy, I'll do it. I'm not just going to do stuff because someone else says, we do this. No. If I don't believe it's a healthy route, I won't be doing it. So I won't encourage anyone else to do it. But what I think is important is that we ask the questions, is that we meet with people, is that we talk. We just do, right? We keep stepping forward. Pardon me. Oh, pardon what? We keep stepping forward in any way we can, right? There is no answer right now. Maybe there's some people somewhere that have an answer, right? Maybe there's some people somewhere that have a plan, but I don't know them. They're not in my life. I'm in my life. I've got friends in my life. I make new acquaintances fairly regularly, on and offline. And that I know will grow. And I know, as long as you step in directions, things happen around that. I've learnt that in life. So, you know, we step, and part of my stepping is just speaking to people. Anyone who will listen, share my videos with someone. We might not agree on everything, but I'm raising a whole load of points that are worth looking at. You know, look, I feel like the school system, by design, has led us in an unhealthy direction. Other people might decide that that was an accident, that was not by design, that was a byproduct of design. But you're not going to be able to escape the psychological side effects that happen on children when you teach them to judge and compete in such an unhealthy, mindless way. Right? Sure, competition's good. Sure, the drive for success is good, but what success? We talking about money success? I've got this, I've got that, I've got the other. Woo, when did the bling bling? Where'd your diamonds come from, bruv? What is success? Like, I'm successful, right? I'm not successful. I'm successful to me. I've navigated so many personal battles, faced so many demons and angels within myself that have created ego problems from both sides, good and bad. You can create an unhealthy ego being bad, you can create an unhealthy ego doing good things. Like, there's so many, you can grow and learn about yourself, and that journey to me has made me successful. I don't have a lot. Most of what I've got is in this room and my mate's attic and my trailer that's got my tools in it. But I don't want or need a lot. Not to say that you shouldn't have if you don't want, right? Each to their own, right? But each to their own, right? And really, like I said in a video yesterday or the day before, this whole just looking after ourselves and those around us has got to be dead. Because that way is what perpetuated the ways of dominance, of hierarchy, of no self-accountability, right? Giving up your self-accountability to other people gives away elements of your self-control, gives away element of your drive, because you go ahead and you give it to other people, right? The more we practice self-awareness, the more these things come to us. It's the way it is. Like I've been having, you know, I watch stuff about Bitcoin daily because I'm very interested in it. I've still got questions. I still believe there's like value in it for us. For like, if you wanna like hold money that no one else can get to, I believe it like as an asset. I believe it's going to stay at that from what I've seen now. What's going to happen to the price and where it's going to finish, who knows? We'll never know until all the Bitcoin are done, until they're all out and the full scarcity's there, I guess. But the scarcity of it, the security of it, and the high interest in it, based on what it is. It's not like there's interest that's faddy, right? And most of the faddy interest around Bitcoin, most of the people are, I don't want to, but like all the altcoins, all the shit coins, like I was part in Ethereum and I pulled out of it. I'm all in on Bitcoin now because I've just learnt more, and it's like, okay, this is really stable, this is really aimed at being safe and secure, and everything that therefore is built on it. As a builder, I know if you build the foundation right, then the building all goes up level and strong, right, and it stays there. And it seems to me like Bitcoin built the foundation, whereas like Ethereum is still designing their foundation, because what they're trying to do isn't actually what Bitcoin has done money. But Ethereum seems to be doing like shit. I heard someone saying like a world computer that, you know, it's not decentralized. It's got a lot of banking interest in that. That's all well and good. I'm not hating on anyone, but because of my own motives in life, I see Bitcoin as like a middle finger. Right, that was one of the first things I liked about it. Was just like, yeah, fuck you, you know, it's a choice away from. It's not dealing with the bankers, and the bankers create war. And if I can not support that, I'll damn well do it. And I understand that there's conspiracy theory out there that's just been coming across me. I've heard it from some people I've spoken to. I've not even looked into it. That the whole electronic currency thing is a ploy by the system to get everyone in, and that. Look, Bitcoin, no. Maybe the altcoins, sure. Ethereum, sure. Ethereum definitely could be. But Bitcoin was made decentralized. Like, the amount of work you've got to go through to corrupt it is nuts. To even have like an influence over the network, it's insane. It's not designed to play ball with the system. It's designed to do that. I support that. Like, I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to be like the fucking, like more over than anything else. I feel like anyone I know and everyone should have a smaller, just put some money into Bitcoin. Put it in there, like minimum 100 quid, right? So get it to 100 quid, then just stack that shit, right? Just hold it. Maybe put 1,000 in there, a couple of few thousand, depending on, like, if you're a super money bags, you could chuck 10k in there. Like, you'd have to be super money bags. I'm like, chuck a couple of grand in there. You know, and if a couple of grand's too much, you build up a couple 100 quid, get that in there. And you have yourself a wallet. You say to me, John, I'm doing it. I'm like, sweet, do this, do that, do that. You get it, you're sorted, you're safe. And what you've done is, you've taken a small amount of energy, a small amount of time, and a fucking small amount of money, really. In the amount of, like, when I think about the money I spent in my 20s alone on alcohol alone. That was not necessarily my biggest bill through my 20s. I was a party animal. So, you know, but we make choices and make moves for a new direction, and new things come out of that. It's new energy. And Bitcoin is totally new. I don't believe that if there's a conspiracy theory around it, I mean, because of everything I've looked at about it, I'd be really hard pushed to, but maybe I've been hoodwinked, right? I don't think so. You know, and then there's this that I think about money. So I've said my piece about Bitcoin. I think we should all do something with it, because it's a move for the future. Right? It's not about like doing some Micheal Saylor and investing like your whole business profit, your cash, your whatever. It's not about that. I'm talking about all of us as people personally taking responsibility for our own. Right? But with that comes the option to help so many more. But anyway, that's what that is. Do what you want. But money, because Bitcoin, I see more asset class, because money really should be a representation of our time. Now, that's something, like, I hear Bitcoin can be that, but I don't know as to whether 8 decimal points is going to be enough with all the people on the planet, and maybe it could, and you know, maybe it's just a case of it gets used as a reserve and other things get built off it, but as long as they're scarce. But our own money, because the reality is, like, whatever we think about Bitcoin or Ethereum or USD or fucking any of them, right, is the fact that the monetary system is collapsing. We have a debt-based economy and they've wrecked it. Regardless, it's crashing. Like, that's just a fact, Jack. And if we don't face that, how are we going to be able to create something? We're not. What's going to happen? The criminals are going to offer us a solution. They gave us the problem, then they're going to offer us the solution. Won't be the solution. So, for now, I don't know. You know, Bitcoin has an option in it. Blockchain, and then what is built on top of Bitcoin. Because through everything I've gathered from the real I want to say geeky or nerdy, and I'm trying to find another word where I'm like that sort of like, without feeling like, oh no, someone, who gives a shit if you're offended. I think being a geek is a good thing. I get my geek on and I spend hours and hours on something. Anyway, through what I've gathered about the blockchain, from the text is that blockchain itself isn't that spectacular, but the coding that has then been used across the network, Bitcoin, and then what gets built second layer, third layer on that, that's actually where it's at. And they've already got the Lightning Network on top of Bitcoin, so it's now faster transactions, and they're also doing like streaming podcasts and streaming music. So you're going to have decentralized music, social media. If we've all got nodes, we're all accountable, we can do our own a node basically makes you your own bank in that land. Right? And with the way everything's going, the banks are now getting involved in Bitcoin. That's a done deal. Seriously, the fact that they're now doing it, it's, from everything I've seen, from all the people that really know what they're talking about, you know, it's that's where it's at. Like, this whole shift is happening, and as many people as possible really should put some money into Bitcoin because of what's going to happen with it. Now the banks are involved. I mean, this is it. Like, governments are involved. Iceland are mining like motherfuckers. Like, it's going to hit 21 mil quick enough. There'll be no Bitcoin, and once that full scarcity hits, the price of it's probably going to skyrocket. Who knows? But I don't care. That's not the point. Freedom of speech is us sharing, showing other people reasons that we need to ask a few questions, daring to look through the orange lens. There's worse places to be, my friends. Anyway, let's call it a day. Use force, positive mental attitude, be kind with your thoughts to yourselves like you would for others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would for others. And let's get it. So watch on. Awareness, of course. Peace in.